ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hi, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And you're back with us. And this time we will focus on trends in
That's right.
Southeast Asia.
Today, when it comes to trends, well, it could be quite political, but when it comes to its contribution, apparently 1MDB has contributed a lot to corporate social responsibility.
This is something new to us. So, I mean, of course, lately the 1MDB
That's
has
right.
been under huge scrutiny by the world, especially the report by FBI regarding on the money laundering scheme. And but on the other hand, according to Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, he defended the State Investment Fund 1MDB. He said that the money is actually being used to carry out corporate social responsibility or CSR.
Right. And also he mentioned by saying that many have forgotten 1MDB has contributed a lot to CSR. On top of that, this is just one of them. Hundreds of millions were spent repairing homes, helping fishermen, youth, women, and flood relief efforts as well.
And they even helped to handing out sponsorship to more than 1,100 village chiefs and local mosque officials to perform pilgrims in Mecca. And it has sponsored more than 4,600 to perform their Hajj in the Muslim Holy Land of Mecca.
That's right. And other than that, I mean, we are just guessing that perhaps a Malaysian PM, he's trying his best to come up with another opinions or reasons.
Quote-unquote reasons.
Yeah, reasons behind the 1MDB. And interestingly, when you look at this whole issues right now, there is this youth wing of Mr. Najib's party, and they are supporting the Prime Minister's stance at this point. And they also say, we support the stand of the Honorable Prime Minister today, that those who have been identified in the report must be responsible to defend themselves in the civil suits, and they must be responsible so there's no longer any speculation after this court trial.
Well, I think the biggest joke in the country right now is who is exactly the Malaysian official number one that was reported in the State Department of Justice. And this is something it has become such a huge meme. But I think at the end of the day, people really want to know whether the 1MDB fund is being used for the betterment of society, or it has been money laundered by just a small number of corrupted officials.
That's right.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Welcome back, this is Grace.
And you're still with us on our trends in Southeast Asia. So Grace, when it comes to Indonesia, there's definitely a tax amnesty that will likely form a bad dent in Singapore.
So what's happening here is, I mean, basically in terms of how bad or what can you expect from this, is Singapore's wealth management industry is likely to suffer a pretty bad shape or experience as rich Indonesians, they move some money back home to take advantage of this tax amnesty. But then all these funds isn't going to be as big as Jakarta is predicting.
So it seems like $200 billion of Indonesian money may not have been declared to the tax authorities in Jakarta and have been squirreled away in Singapore. This is according to private banking sources. And these are a huge portion of approximately $470 billion of assets under management by private banks in the financial hub.
That's right. I mean, this is below the about $76 billion projected by Indonesian government, and also $42 billion forecast by its central bank. But at that monetary Authority of Singapore's annual news conference, which was held on Monday, its managing director Ravi Menon, he mentioned he doesn't expect big outflows of funds, and he stressed that the city won't be taking any particular action to stem any such transfers at the moment.
So the moral of the story here is pay your taxes.
That's right.
Anyway, government revenue from taxing $30 billion could still be as much as 3 times higher than the money recouped during a previous Indonesian tax amnesty in 2008, which only pulled in about 500 million in tax.
And of course, there are a lot of worrisome or concerns coming from Singapore, which getting stuck there for about 3 years, it could be a very big concern. Who is the tax leader at the consultant and PwC Singapore? And also, the money can only be invested in the list of assets drafted by the government, which are government bonds issued by the state-owned company, and some real estates.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
And you're with us on our ASEAN Daily. So, Grace, what's the news regarding today's trends in Southeast Asia on the third news today?
Well, when you think about happiest country or happy country, which countries come across in your mind?
Usually Scandinavian countries.
Right.
And also, I think the most famous one would be Bhutan.
How about Malaysia?
I think a lot of people in Malaysia are complaining. Don't think they are happy.
So, but by the way, the news we are looking at from Forbes is Vietnam is currently world's 5th happiest country
Oh my
for
God.
now.
Vietnam?
Yeah.
Really?
From Southeast Asia. So
I could never imagine Vietnam.
Exactly. So this is according to the Happy Planet Index, a report that measured the elements that contribute towards the happy life in 140 countries. And they looked at the factors such as life expectancy, well-being, inequality, and ecological footprint.
Well, it's really interesting because if you look at the list of countries, they are not really rich countries,
All right.
They are, most of them are developing countries. The list that was also topping the chart besides Vietnam is Costa Rica, Mexico, Colombia, and Vanuatu.
Oh.
So it's, yeah,
So
I'm quite confused, to be honest.
So I guess that the chosen ones, we are talking about 140 countries. I guess they are not targeting it at the developed country, perhaps the countries which has potential of development, and then maybe measure the happiness from there. So it is really interesting that Vietnam is chosen as the 5th happiest countries from 140 countries, and it has also done a great job for reducing poverty as well. In the early 90s, more than half of population lived below poverty line, but it is now in just a single digit.
When I look at Vietnam, I see Malaysia during the 70s.
Right.
When Malaysia was in its 70s, it was in transition between a more rural dominated industry to a more industry tech-based sort of production. So and you're seeing right now in Vietnam is doing the same thing. Its tech hub is growing at a tremendous rate. Its industry when it comes to manufacturing is also growing very well. In fact, they're saying that Indochina might be the next China when it comes to the manufacturing sector.
So I guess we wish Vietnam all the best for ranking even higher in the future. And that they could also, hopefully that Vietnam can influence other parts in Southeast Asia, make people happy and make people happier to live.
Well, I think the secret is to smile more.
That's all from our ASEAN Daily today. Thank you for tuning into Drian ASEAN. For more updates on Southeast Asia, please go to our website at drianasean.com. If you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels at Drian ASEAN and Drian ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram.